And Briac has already seen the first slide, right? I put a sad face, maybe not a very good way to start the day with a sad face. But, okay, very quickly, what are the problems with umpires in GGE?
They're forced into it.
They're forced into it. Yeah. Anybody else? What when you're refereeing a game and the umpires, what's the?
There are no umpires.
There are none.
They know the rule usually. Forcing the rule.
They don't take it seriously.
Yeah, they're lying down, drinking the pints behind the goals.
There's so many times where one to the point difference is wide, and then all hell breaks loose because the players see that.
Okay, if you were to allow three things that your umpires would absolutely do in a game, and you just told them and they would do it, what three would they be? Sorry, be there. Okay.
If you're not sure, it's wide.
If you're not sure, it's wide. Okay.
Because I've had a few of them where they're round because it was so close.
Yeah.
If you have any.
Yeah. Three things now. You've got three things that you're.
Position, because so often they're
in the wrong
10
place.
metres behind the goal. And they're in a terrible position, and you can't trust them at all. So what's the point in having them in the first place?
Okay. Anything else?
Clear signals.
Clear signals.
Communication.
Communication.
With each other and with the referee.
Yeah. Okay. You're sick. They're sick, huh? You guys are. You can look at one of those. I think there's a photo of your family in it. You're sick of looking at these, right? And some of you, who thinks that these have an effect? Okay, good. Yeah, Alex, it's okay. Yeah, Briac. Yeah, I think actually in France you do actually use it, right? So you all have them, right? I find, I have to say, that if, particularly if it's an important game, and I put these down, and I go down to them, most umpires will take a look, right? And these are the three instructions I would give them. And when I do, they generally do follow it, okay? And this, your three might be different, okay? And that's fine. But take the time. You're not going to get it on every game in a tournament. You know, you're not. It's not going to happen. But you know, when you get into a game that's going to be tight or an important game to the semi-finals and the final, you should take those 2 minutes, 3 minutes, even if it's just, lads, you wouldn't have a look at that for me, please. I really need your help. It's really important and it makes my life a lot easier. Okay, even if it's only that, you know. So I've put down three things. Their job, that's the first thing they think their job is, right?
The ball.
Yeah, you're a ball boy. That's the first thing I tell them. Your job is not to get that ball, okay? The second thing, and I'll do this from the middle of the pitch. When I'm throwing up the ball, I'm looking down, and if the umpires are 10 metres, in Vaughan one year, they were out in the car park. There was a fence behind the goals, and they couldn't access the pitch, so two of them went out. The two umpires were out in the car park, about 20 metres. And I went down and said, how are you going to? And they said, but we can't get the balls from here. Okay? I would at least say, and then when you're in the middle and you look down, and if they're way behind the goals, blow the whistle. And the thing is, you know, get them, you know, pointing the thing. And the thing is, you're communicating to about 30 people around you who will be doing umpire at some stage that day. It's not just to those four umpires, okay? Incorrect positioning, at least get them there, and, you know, just basic signal, at least one signal, and if you have time, you know, 1 point umpire, 1 goal umpire, you know, you've all seen it. One umpire's waving a wide and the other's waving a point, and you're like, okay. All right, and there's a tip or trick that I use to deal with that, okay? So 3 key instructions. Okay, they're my suggestions. You might have a different one, that's absolutely fine. Okay, now the other thing is, so this year, and particularly in Den Haag, we were a lot better. We don't normally have linespeople, okay? I know in France you do. In this context, I'm talking about when linespeople are you guys as referees. I'm not talking about non-qualified referees, okay? I'm talking about when we get to finals, we do try to have teams of 3 and work together, okay? But a lot of our referees don't actually know how to do the line. I mean, it's you think it's just the line, but there's a lot more to it. Anybody know what the rules say about the responsibilities of the lines person? We're so used to not having lines. Honestly, it's like, yeah, but it's only for, I want, you guys are there to help the referee, okay, big time. When you do have to, I'm not used to refereeing. Sometimes I've had one of you guys doing the line for me, and I forget that you're doing it because, all right. So let's have a quick look at what the rules say. Okay? So obviously you can be consulted. Okay, but that's up to the referee to come to you. I know David has some things about where a lines person comes in or another official. Change sides at halftime, not overly concerned about that, okay? But you would, it's typically for the subs and all that. Obviously, the obvious one is the ball out of play and control subs. And I can't remember why I put an asterisk on that. Because there's no fourth official, correct. Okay, fourth official. When I read the rules on fourth official in our thing, I think, yeah, forget that chapter, yeah, right? Okay. Absolutely. And actually, I didn't put that on the next slide, which is one that could absolutely be applied to it. And the other thing, well, I'll come to it in a second. So when we're doing that, those are what's in the rules. What do the rules not say about lines people, but that you can still do? What do you see when you're watching the inter-county games or on television? What do you see the lines people? 45? Yeah. Anything else?
When there's like people crowding in a group, and they split them apart, and the referees can.
They're the mediator. They're the referee in a fight. Yeah. Okay. They'll come in. They'll come on the pitch. What's the big advantage of coming in for the 45?
Well, you can position yourself there. Let them take that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You know, that's between the umpire and the lines person. Yeah. Anything else that they do that you see them doing that isn't in the rules?
There are eyes in the back of your head as well.
Totally.
There's a tussle going on one end of the pitch, but play nothing
Yeah.
exactly is wrong.
Off the ball stuff.
Exactly.
Okay. So actually, I want David to talk a little bit about this when you're doing the off-the-ball stuff. I think you have one or two videos, yeah. So now, team official infractions. I did it with Dave in Den Haag. I was doing the line. You may not hear the abuse as a referee, which is grand.
We heard in Madrid.
Huh?
That fella, what was that club he was from? That manager?
Oh, they're from Dublin.
Are they?
Yeah, that was the invitational, yeah. So the Madrid boys wouldn't say anything now, in fairness.
The manager from one of the teams.
Oh yeah, I know, yeah. But so when you're doing the line, don't tolerate that. You know, absolutely not. Any sort of guff that you're getting from the line, unauthorised incursions.
Yeah, we get a lot of that, don't we? Lads just think we walk onto the pitch.
Yeah.
In Den Haag as well. I was doing the line before my game, and they were just constant. I was constantly asking people, "Would you mind, please? You're actually taken away from the game. They think the line is further in. Please move away. Please move back." I was tripping over people's feet.
Yeah,
And
and don't be afraid to call the attention of the referee and stop the game. You know, it was particularly bad. I saw that in Den Haag.
I saw in the final, a fella got a shoulder and went
flying out, yeah.
You see a lady in the crowd.
Yeah, and then you see a child on the sideline, basically. You know, that's game. Stop the game if they don't move. Get them, and then they'll move back a little bit.
Then you come back in again anyway.
Yeah, no, get them outside behind if there's a barrier there. Okay, but it's unauthorised incursions by team officials as well. Okay, okay. During a break and play, you don't. We're not mic'd up or anything like that, radios. So you're just going to have to grab the attention of the referee. I know that in club referees, and I know when you have a team around them, they're signalling to another umpire, and then the umpire's got the referee's attention, and they can. But look, we're not there yet, you know. So mark 45s. Free kicks close to the sideline as well. You know, let's say the referee's going off he needs to, you know, hold the free kick there. You, as a linesman, go in and just stop them, right? Say, wait, and you know, that sort of thing. Don't be afraid to go in and do it. Take control of that, you know, not in the middle of the pitch, but unless there's some major reason for it. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about there. If there's something going on. So this is people standing over the line. The rule is black and white.
Yeah.
It's not on the line, it's behind the line. There's no grey area. It's like the offside in the VAR. You're either onside or you're offside. There's no... I don't know, do you do that? I put that in, David. Would you expect a Lions person? No? Okay.
Very hard to bring 4 umpires to a game and I put them there and then not listen.
Yeah.
And then you have to listen to the whole room. You guys suppose it's a bit different.
Yeah, so, yeah. So I think that's one, you know, if one of you guys tells me that ball was wide and I have a Lions or an umpire who's on their phone,
You go with the line.
you know, you're going to go with the line, you know, if you don't know. So, but absolutely, and the pitches are narrower as well, you know. So, and penalties as well. Come on into the pitch and watch if there's a 20-metre line or if there's an arc. You know, if you're lucky enough that there's an arc, and at least then the referee can focus on the penalty taker and the goalkeeper. And but come in and just at least keep them back, you know. Okay. Now the final thing is, well, second final thing. How many of you have ever yellow carded, red carded, or black carded a player for any type of dissent or abuse or remonstration at an umpire? You've done it. Done it, yeah. So it's just it's a question of curiosity. It's not a test, right? So no matter how bad your umpires are, you're there to protect them. And I see at games, you know, guys shouting, umpire refused to get the ball. Guys shouting, go and fucking get the ball, do your effing job, right? Don't put up with that stuff. That's the same as being directed as you. In fact, it's even, you know, you're there half voluntarily. They're not, okay? Very few of them volunteer to do umpire, you know. So absolutely protect your match officials with the rules. Remember, the rules say all these are to, you know, abuse, dissent, whatever. It's to a match official. It doesn't say referee, okay? It says match official. So you have the rule book, protect them. Now, and the final thing is then, so we're looking very handsome in Den Haag. For the first time ever, we have referee kit. That's all the same. Most of you have it already. Those of you don't, it's in boxes here. I'll get it to you. So when you're teaming up, you know, suit up, look the part, and it does make a difference. It does make a difference. When you're out and you've got, you know, you agree the same jersey. Sometimes you can't. I was in Den Haag doing the line for who, Connor? I was frozen all day. I wore this. I was in a big puddle as well on the side of the pitch. And look, I'm not asking people to you know, suffer, but most of the times we play in pretty good weather. Try and bring one of the two jerseys, and whoever's refereeing a final, get that jersey on, and you all have matching shorts and everything. So, all right, I am ahead of time. Excellent. Okay, yeah.
But Linespeople and even umpires, I think it's cool to discuss with them and to organize something on foot pass, hand pass. If you need to follow the ball and to follow the situation, just to ask the sideline or the umpire to keep an eye on the situation for the third man tackle, arriving in the back. And you can have an eye on every situation.
No, you can't, but if you can do that with umpires, you know, that are in your club or a group of people, go for it. You know, absolutely. But I don't think we're at that level where, you know, are you going to be asking, you know, does the umpire know the square ball rule, you know?
In that situation, when you have referees as
Oh, and linesmen. Referees. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
to organize the things and not to everybody follows the same situation, but just to discuss. I follow the ball and you keep an eye on
Yeah.
on that situation.
Keep an eye, yeah, absolutely. And especially more so now that we're playing more 15s. So the 15s is going to get bigger, which is great. You know, the full games, 30 minutes, a half. And that's, you should have, at least if they're not lines people who are referees, you know, they're usually one-off games. So you do need to take that time, and you will have the time normally. Like in Rennes, we had plenty of time to talk to the umpires, and that would, because the big pitch is bigger and you can't be, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the sheets, yeah, keep them. I'm going to keep forcing them, well, not forcing them, but making them available to you. Okay, so that's all I want to discuss. Oh no, sorry, consistency, yeah, I want to do. Okay, sorry, I did want to do this first, and I'll give myself 5 minutes. Okay. What does consistency mean in terms of refereeing?
If you're going to get it wrong, keep getting it wrong.
Why would I want to talk about consistency?
It's not making up for your mistakes. Like if you did a mistake, it's not like the other team has some leeway now.
Oh, you mean making 2 mistakes to correct one, making it twice as worse, okay? Okay, well in general, what I wanted to kind of focus on is, first of all, your own individual performance as a referee within a game, within a tournament, and right across a year. So I suppose if you take that as an individual level, that you're applying the rules in the right way and interpreting them in the right way, and you're being consistent in that, okay? That's one thing. That's what we're here for today in terms of the other things. I'm not going to get into that, but that's the first 2. And then this is the second one, which is ultimately what you want to get to, obviously. It's never going to happen. And good morning, Pat. Take a seat there anyway. So this is what we're ultimately trying to get to. But what I want to focus on in terms of GGE is things that we did quite well in Den Haag, because we had a briefing the night before. So there's nothing more frustrating than you're on a pitch in the first game in the morning and you've decided the kick-out line is going to be here, right? Because it's a natural line or this whatever, and you've done it. And then another referee comes onto the pitch. You haven't communicated that, and the same team is playing again. And the next thing is the goalkeeper kicks it out and you blow the whistle and the goalkeeper's going, yeah, this is what I've been doing all morning. Yeah, exactly. And which is it, you know? So our pitch markings aren't exactly always correct, you know. Sometimes we have to improvise a little bit. The small square, you know, obviously the soccer small square, you know, acts quite well as a penalty area for the perpendicular lines. It's about 1 meter narrower, but it works well. So if whatever you're agreeing with referees at the start, stick to that on that pitch and agree it. Okay, that's kind of what I'm talking about here in terms of pitch markings. The other thing that I'll talk about them later in the afternoon, is the subs. The tackle-in ladies I'm going to talk about, and because we have to be consistent on this. I'll talk about the subs later, I won't get onto it now. Ultimately, the way you want to be consistent in terms is referee to what the rules say, right? Learn them, know them, practice them, blah, blah, blah. That's ultimately where you want to get to, okay? But in terms of the pitch markings is all I want to just mention, and then I will talk about subs and a few other things that drive players nuts, and they have a point as well, okay? Because this referee applies this and another referee doesn't, and you kind of get a little bit, all right?